At 12:23 p.m., chaos erupted at Utah Valley University in Orem. In the middle of the American comeback tour, with more than 3,000 students watching, a single gunshot shattered the crowd. The target, 31-year-old right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, struck in the neck as panic spread through the arena. But who would want to kill him, and why? Who exactly was Charlie Kirk, and what led to this shocking moment? Stay with us until the end, because in today's video, we're breaking down everything about this murder. Charlie Kirk was born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois. He grew up in Prospect Heights, a quiet suburb just outside Chicago. His father, Robert Kirk, was an architect who even worked on big projects like Trump Tower in New York City. His mother worked as a mental health counselor. Together, they gave Charlie a stable, middle-class upbringing. From a young age, Charlie showed he was not like other kids. He joined the Boy Scouts and worked his way up to Eagle Scout, one of the highest ranks. In school, he wasn't just sitting quietly in the classroom. At Wheeling High School, he jumped straight into politics. While still a teenager, he volunteered for U.S. Senate campaigns, including one for Senator Mark Kirk. No relation, just the same last name. But Charlie also showed he wasn't afraid to fight for what he believed in, even on small issues. When the school cafeteria raised the price of cookies, Charlie led a student protest. That same spirit pushed him to write an opinion piece at just 18 years old, claiming there was liberal bias in American textbooks. The article was published by Breitbart News and quickly got national attention. Soon after, Charlie was invited to appear on Fox Business, giving him his first big spotlight. After high school, he enrolled at Harper College, a community college near Chicago. But it didn't last long. Instead of finishing his degree, Charlie made a bold choice. He dropped out. He decided to dedicate himself fully to political activism. For him, college wasn't worth the cost, too expensive, too biased, and not the only path to success. That choice would change everything. At only 18 years old in 2012, Charlie gave a speech at Benedictine University's Youth Government Day. It was there that he met Bill Montgomery, a man who would become his mentor. Bill saw something powerful in Charlie, a young voice who could connect with students across America. He encouraged Charlie to forget about finishing college and instead dedicate his life to political activism. With that push, Charlie felt certain he was on the right path, and he threw himself into the movement with even greater determination. That same year, Charlie and Montgomery co-founded Turning Point USA, a non-profit group aimed at promoting political engagement on high school and college campuses. At first, it was small, debates between students, meetings on campuses, building a network of young activists. But it quickly grew. By 2016, Charlie was only 22 years old, yet he stood on stage as the youngest speaker at the Republican National Convention. His group, Turning Point USA, was now spreading across high schools and universities nationwide. Donors began supporting the organization, and Charlie quickly became one of the most recognized young political figures. His influence kept rising. In 2018, Forbes placed him on its famous 30 Under 30 list for law and policy. A year later, in 2019, he launched Turning Point Action, another branch of his movement, this time designed to directly support political campaigns. By now, Charlie wasn't just running an organization. He was helping shape the future of youth politics in America. At the same time, his voice grew louder in the media. He launched The Charlie Kirk Show, a daily podcast and radio program, and became a frequent guest on major TV networks. He also wrote best-selling books, including The MAGA Doctrine. His rallies, tours, and debates regularly drew thousands of young people. Charlie also built close ties with Donald Trump and his family, especially Donald Trump Jr. He was more than just a supporter. He was seen as a strategist, even influencing decisions like Trump's choice of James David Vance as his running mate. May 8, 2021. Away from the spotlight, Charlie's personal life was also changing. He married Erica Francevy, a former beauty queen and podcaster. By 2022, Turning Point USA was bringing in nearly $80 million a year, cementing itself as one of the biggest forces in youth politics. And in the same year, in August, Charlie and Erica welcomed their first child, a daughter. 2 years later, in 2024, their family grew again with the birth of a son. For Charlie, these were some of the happiest years of his life, a time when the growth of his family matched the rise of his public influence. Back to his public life, Charlie held strong beliefs that shaped both his work and the debates around him. First, he was strongly pro-Israel, often visiting the country, speaking at events organized with local groups, and supporting programs that sent American students abroad or hosted Jewish leadership summits on college campuses. Second, he was a proud gun owner and a vocal Second Amendment advocate, encouraging people to arm themselves. He supported armed guards and weapons detectors in schools and sparked debate in April 2023, stating that some gun deaths are an unavoidable cost for preserving freedom. He also posted on X that guns save lives. Third, he was a vocal critic of transgender rights, asserting that there are only two genders, and describing transgenderism and gender fluidity as lies that hurt people and abuse kids. Through all this, Charlie Kirk became a figure people either admired or criticized. To some, he was a controversial agitator. For others, he was a bold voice for conservative youth, seeming to have a promising future, guided by clear goals and strong beliefs. But what no one expected was that some of those beliefs would turn out to be the very thing that ended his life. On Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, the American Comeback Tour brought Charlie Kirk to Utah Valley University in Orem. Organized by Turning Point USA, the tour aimed to spark political debates and discussions on college campuses across the country. That day, Kirk took a seat under a white gazebo in the university's outdoor quad, where a crowd of roughly 3,000 students had gathered. As part of the event, he hosted a Prove Me Wrong table, inviting students to openly challenge his viewpoints in a public, debate-style format designed to foster civil discourse. Around 12:20 p.m., a student asked him, "Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?" Kirk replied, "Too many." The student then clarified that there had been 5 in the past decade and followed up, "Do you know how many mass shootings there have been in America over the last 10 years?
I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?"
Kirk responded, "Counting or not counting gang violence." Then suddenly, a single shot rang out, believed to have been fired from the roof of the Low-C Center overlooking the quad. Chaos erupted instantly. Moments later, a chilling scene was captured on video. Police officers holding Kirk up, hurrying him across the courtyard and into an awaiting ambulance as the stunned crowd continued to flee. In the immediate aftermath, Utah Valley University was evacuated, with classes canceled until further notice. Students and staff were instructed to shelter in place while officers worked to secure the campus. The FBI, along with other law enforcement agencies, launched a massive manhunt. CCTV footage captured only a man dressed in dark clothing, and armed police patrolled nearby neighborhoods, showing residents photos of a person of interest in hopes of gathering leads on the gunman. This vague description eventually led authorities to identify and question 2 potential suspects. But before we move into the next part, who those suspects are, the investigation, and who was the murderer, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. The first suspect was Michael Mallinson. In the hours after the shooting, confusion fueled a storm of misinformation. FBI Director Kash Patel briefly claimed on X that the gunman had been caught, but later retracted the statement after the man in custody was released. At the same time, footage of an older man being detained at the scene went viral. One clip showed him with his pants around his ankles, another shouting, "Help me!" Online, he was quickly and wrongly identified as 77-year-old Michael Mallinson, a retired banker from Toronto. Mallinson said he was stunned when his daughter called to tell him his photo was spreading worldwide. He later deleted his social media accounts and reported the misidentification to police. The second suspect was George Zinn. Utah Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason confirmed that the 71-year-old was arrested at the scene, as his behavior initially raised suspicions that he might be connected to the shooting. But investigators soon determined he did not match witness descriptions of the gunman. Instead, Zinn was booked on an obstruction of justice charge. Well known in Utah, he had a long history of showing up at political rallies, protests, and even the Sundance Film Festival, often drawing attention for his disruptive behavior and frequent arrests. Locals knew him as the occasionally ubiquitous activist, a reputation that once again put him in the spotlight on the day of the shooting. During this time, news of Charlie Kirk's murder spread rapidly, dominating headlines and trending across social media. The nation was shocked, and many public figures stepped forward with their reactions. As the story spread worldwide, grief quickly turned into questions. The most pressing one was, who was the killer? For a short time, that answer remained unknown, until officials finally identified the suspect accused of fatally shooting Kirk and placed him under arrest. A 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah resident with no prior criminal record. Public records revealed that Robinson had briefly attended Utah State University in 2021, but dropped out after just one semester. That same year, in July, he last registered to vote as unaffiliated, showing no ties to any political party. According to Utah Governor Spencer Cox, Robinson's family had noticed him becoming more political in recent years. Just days before the tragedy, at a family dinner on September 10th, he openly talked about Charlie Kirk's upcoming appearance at Utah Valley University, making it clear he disliked Kirk and his views. Surveillance footage placed Robinson at Utah Valley University on the morning of the shooting. At 8:29 a.m., cameras caught him arriving in a gray Dodge Challenger hours before Kirk took the stage. The FBI later released photos of a young, thin man in a black long-sleeved t-shirt with an American flag design, an Adidas hat, jeans, Converse sneakers, and black sunglasses. The biggest turning point came when Robinson's own father recognized him in those surveillance images. Horrified, he confronted his son, who confessed. The father urged him to turn himself in, but Robinson said he would rather kill himself. Worried, the father called a youth pastor who then contacted U.S. Marshals. The Marshals secured Robinson until the FBI could take him into custody. Working with investigators and U.S. Marshals, authorities arrested Robinson at 10 p.m. on September 12th in Washington County, Utah, just 33 hours after Kirk was shot in front of thousands of people, and he was taken into custody without any struggle. Soon after, investigators uncovered another huge breakthrough from Robinson's friend, who showed them incriminating Discord messages. In those messages, Robinson described going to pick up a rifle he had stashed at a drop point, wrapping it in a towel, engraving words onto bullets, and mentioning a special scope that made the weapons stand out. These details lined up perfectly with the rifle that investigators found hidden in the woods near the university campus. A Mauser 98.3006 caliber bolt-action rifle with a mounted scope. Inside, they found one spent cartridge and several unused bullets engraved with bizarre messages, ranging from the Italian protest song lyric "Bella Ciao" to taunts like "Hey fascists, catch," and "If you read this, you are LMAO." He is now being held at a county jail in Spanish Fork, Utah, facing initial charges of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, causing serious bodily injury, and obstruction of justice. Jail officials confirmed that he has not yet been formally charged. According to state law, Prosecutors have 3 days to file the official documents, and Robinson is expected to appear before a judge for his preliminary hearing early next week. Governor Cox said the state is preparing those charging papers, promising that they will include even more details to establish probable cause. He also emphasized that the Utah County Attorney will work closely with Kirk's family as the case moves forward. Governor Cox confirmed the arrest during a press conference with FBI Director Kash Patel, declaring proudly, "We got him."
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
That same evening, President Donald Trump announced Robinson's capture live on Fox News, praising law enforcement and crediting Robinson's father for recognizing him and convincing him to surrender. The story of Tyler Robinson is still unfolding, and investigators continue to uncover new details about him. We'll be making a separate video dedicated entirely to his background and what led up to this tragedy. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think was the real motive behind Charlie Kirk's murder? Was it simply Tyler Robinson's personal dislike of Kirk and his views, or was there something deeper driving him? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next update.